in the midst of such chaos.
You must act quickly. But beware, an ancient evil dwells within, long unspoken among our kind. Undoubtedly, this is the source of the corruption that infects the Circle. If you are to succeed, you must resist its influence.
As the vampires began to die out, the pillars summoned human guardians to fulfill their roles. It seemed the ancient vampires had adopted, and when necessary, abducted the human guardians and made vampires of them when they came of age, until the humans rebelled against their masters. And here, I made a surprising discovery. It was Mobius, the Time Streamer, and Mortanius, Guardian of Death, who led the bloody revolt. Now, I understood why Mobius hated me so intensely. I was the first vampire guardian in all these centuries, and he knew what my coming signified. Or perhaps I reminded him of all he had forsaken.
must be bad. Not shy.
The orb that once opened this portal had been destroyed. To power it, I would need to find a substitute.
stessa Maue. Empare non te.
confronted again with depictions of the vampire's champion, the bearer of the Reaver Blade. And here too was his Hilden adversary, with blazing eyes brandishing a flaming sword. Two heroes, locked in combat which only one would survive. But which one? These murals prophesied two possible outcomes. I didn't know what Mobius was trying to concoct, but this all seemed too convenient.
Umaha.
With this fourth and final fragment, the balance emblem was complete. I now had the means to unseal the mysterious chamber at the heart of the Citadel. Balance emblem. Flame. Time.
Thanks, Stricken Yet. Haven't played it in a while, but when it first came out, I was a big fan of the Legacy of Kain games, so played them all when they came out. Apart from Blood Omen, unfortunately I missed that one. Didn't get to play that until must have been about 2004, 2005, I think. Yes, let's not jump into the water.
For my ancient ancestors, the dark gift was clearly a curse, damning them to a kind of spiritual purgatory. But why were they compelled to seal this chamber so securely? Perhaps the lock was not meant to keep intruders out, but to imprison something within.
Kain, scion of balance, savior of Nosgoth.
What is this?
Your arrival is foretold. The fates have willed it.
Is that so?
I am the oracle of your ancestors. I can provide the answers you require. You needn't speak.
Don't trust in Kain.
I know your mind. You seek knowledge of your creature Raziel. This I can offer, if you will look. He has found the body of Janos Audron. He journeys now to Avernus Cathedral to seek the Heart of Darkness. You know what this means.
And why would I trust your prophecies?
These events are already written just as you feared. But there is still time. He can be stopped.
If Avernus is in flames, Raziel is 5 centuries beyond my reach.
I may aid you in this regard as well. This portal will transport you in time to the very hour that Raziel arrives in Avernus. This task is yours to carry out, since it was you who made him what he is. When you are ready, you may pass through.
I knew, of course, that this oracle was not to be trusted. But in the end, what choice did I have?
Ah, I wonder where that goes.
This peculiar sensation was familiar to me, and the chamber did indeed appear altered by time. In this regard, at least, the oracle seemed to have been truthful.
I have delivered you faithfully to the very hour you desire. You know what must be done, Kain. There is only one way to prevent Raziel from doing great harm.
He is not my enemy.
But you are his.
From this vantage point, I could see the city of Avernus in flames. The oracle had indeed brought me to the time it promised. It might also be true, then, that Raziel was already there, seeking the Heart of Darkness. If so, he had to be stopped. I could not allow Janos to be raised.
Somewhere in this great cathedral, the Heart of Darkness lay concealed. The city outside was in chaos, and the cathedral would not be immune for long. During such times, buried secrets were often suddenly revealed, or lost forever.
I just need to take my injection. Alright, where to go next? Three of them. Four of them. Opportunity, that's doable. And now the really hard part, the jumping puzzles with the camera that just goes everywhere.
I had seen this symbol throughout these ruins. I should have realized what it was they worshipped. Now there was no question, for this scene depicted the ancient vampires' torment and despair as their curse cast them from the wheel of fate. So this was the god whose abandonment had driven them to madness and suicide. Finally, I understood. It was not the bloodthirst, but their immortality that was the true nature of their enemy's curse. The wisest, strongest, most noble race, gulled by the voice of that old parasite. But I had seen him, and whatever he was no god.
All upon the wheel are blessed.
Rejoice in the turning of the wheel.
It does turn, but we cannot see it.
Your wheel is a lie.
Do not turn the wheel.
Come.
Die.
There's no hope.
This spirit vessel was shielded by layers of occult energy. There had to be some means to dispel this barrier. As the Reaver absorbed the souls of the original Energy and Time Guardians, it was imbued with the elemental power of Earth with which their principles were aligned.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be easy. Still disappear anyway. Didn't know I could do that. Try air. No, okay. Okay, then I'm missing something. Wind on that side. Fire on that side. Fire. Wind. Oh, hang on. Ah. Okay then, where's the last two things I have to hit? Oh, in there. Oh, that's handy. Oh, those are not the last two things I need to hit there. So, let's just be linked to that then. And that doesn't open. There's nothing weakened to hit. Nope. I really hate the camera in this game. Whoever coded the camera for this game should be barred from ever writing code again. Wait, is that my exit? Yeah, it must be. Should have grabbed the health. Okay. Aha.
As the handsome coffin hides the putrefying corpse within, the great cathedral of Avernus seemed to hold its own secrets, hidden in the catacombs beneath its vaulted chambers. Was this the source of the corruption that infected Nosgoth? Vorador had hinted at something more.
The long, winding corridors.
History is written by the victors. Beneath the vaults of Avernus, I discovered scenes that told a familiar story, but from a very different point of view. This was the work of the enemy race, and revealed what the vampire histories had conveniently omitted. How the noble vampires, god-ridden and righteous, had started the wars that would destroy both races, victor and vanquished alike. Their adversaries opposed the vampires' god, and refused to submit to the wheel of fate. For this, they were banished. I now understood the poetic irony of their curse, and my resemblance to the vampire's enemy no longer seemed so accidental.
Oh, great. Demons. Who the hell is summoning demons? Mind you, this is just after Kain, isn't it? So, yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, Vorador is still alive, so this could be before Kain arrives. For the first time. No, so? Damn. Ah, God, kill me.
The banished race foretold a hero who would deliver them from their oppressors and destroy the shackles of the vampire's tyrannous god, the same hero that bore the flaming sword. What game was this, where every player on the board claimed the same pawn?
So, Raziel, your true nature is finally revealed. You were never the vampire's savior. It is to the Hilden race you belong. And when Kain realizes this, what do you think he will do?
Great Hashak, we hear you. We offer this sacrifice upon the altar of the world.
In the depths of Avernus Cathedral, I stumbled upon a bloody ritual. Was this the source of the corruption that had overtaken the city?
May this blood nourish you for all eternity. The wrath of Hashak has once more
That's
been
spontaneous.
averted. Depart now as ever in his service.
What was it that these deluded humans worshipped with such fervor? Was this the dreaded unspoken that Vorador had warned me about? The so-called god inhabited this hideous pit. I was about to meet it.
I smell no blood. Throat cut first, blood gouting, then it falls into the pit. The sacrifice is rejected. You will know my wrath. Not possible. No, it could not be.
Stand away, monster!
No. That voice. Not possible. I know that voice. But he fell. The abyss. He ended there.
I did not fall into the abyss.
Oh. It remembers that, does it?
I was thrown in by my own brethren.
I heard what you did to them. And now, you have found me at last.
Terrell!
Terrell! Yes, that was my name then.
The others were grotesque, but
Yes, I am changed. I have become a god. Greater than you ever were, Raziel. You were never a god. Greater even than Kain!
it is to you that these humans offer their blood sacrifices?
Hashak-dik! Hashak-dik! Yes.
But how did this happen?
I was summoned. There was darkness and great hunger. And then I was found.
Why do you stay in this terrible place?
Why stay? Would I remain if I could get out?
while they hound me and tear at me and... The hour is at hand, as it was foretold.
Terrell?
Use his voice to command the disciples above, which meant offerings to keep the host alive. He has been a durable vessel, but he can take us no further. You must prevail. The champion of our enemy draws near. No! I must have blood! Bring me blood! Or feel the wrath of your god. Yours. Yes, it will strengthen me against them.
What are you doing?
No more questions. No more worship. Time to run. Time to scream. Time to die.
Okay, boss fight against flying vampires. How does this go?
Yes, now. Go, speed your endeavor. Face him and kill him. Destroy the binding at last. We shall all be free.
It's Gollum.
to me, my undead son. Make haste to the pillars. The stage is set for the grand finale.
Oh no, this must be after the first time came into the cathedral.
Mortanius!
So, you have come out into the open at last. The binding must be fragile indeed. But you will find you are too late.
What am I too late for this time?
No, not now. You are too late for the victory you sought. I have beaten you after all.
You have mistaken my identity.
Have I? You forget who schooled me in the ancient prophecies. This vessel speaks truly. You are indeed overdue, but it no longer matters in the least. With or without you, we will prevail.
So, I finally meet the unspoken. And here it is, nestled in the heart of the circle itself. Ironic.
Poetic justice. To topple the foundations of the pillars from within. We shall have our revenge in full measure and for all time. This one has little strength left. One must not break him. Your kind does not like to lose.
I seek the heart of darkness.
Ah, now you think of that. But as I told you, you are too late. The heart has served its function. I have used it to set prophecy in motion. I created the champion foretold by my masters, who is destined to be your destroyer. The Scion of Balance will save Nosgoth. The Pillars will return to vampire guardianship as intended, and your race will be cast down forever.
Kain. You use the heart of darkness to create Kain.
How else? I refused at first to believe the ancient myths. I thought the vampires were simply a plague upon mankind, a pestilence we had to control. But they were right, and we were wrong to overthrow them, Mobius and I. We didn't understand what it was the Pillars were holding back. I have made my atonement. I will continue to make it to the end, which will be soon now. But I know Kain will set it right. He will restore balance. And none too soon. My enemy is growing stronger.
Where is the heart of darkness now? Did you destroy it?
You still don't understand, do you? You cannot make use of it as long as Kain guards it with his life.
Kain has it. It is in Kain.
Check and mate.
Not very
This
fast,
deed
are you,
will
Razia?
redeem first me and then all Nosgoth. It must. This one grows weak, but we will soon have a stronger vessel. The long-awaited hour approaches. Our release is at hand. I must finish it now.
Kain. Why is this
two-part
no
fight.
surprise?
And the second
Because our
part's
destinies
difficult.
run together, Raziel, like two rivers that have met and can never be distinct again. At your every fatal turn, you'll find me.
And the free will you said was mine. What has become of that?
You still have it. And that has everything to do with my presence here now.
It was your machinations that set my destiny in motion. The coin you tossed has struck the earth. Now you must abide by its outcome.
The coin is still turning, Raziel. To reach the resolution we both can live with, that will best serve our futures, Janos Ordran must not be raised.
Because you do not wish it? Is my free will to be exercised only when it accords with your whim?
There is much more at stake in this than you know.
Yes, and it is Janos who has the answers I desire.
You must trust me, Raziel. Our intentions, for Nosgoth, for our futures, are not so diverse.
I must trust you. Or...
I've not come here to threaten you, Raziel.
You say that, while you hold in your hand the instrument of my doom?
I saved you from the Reaver once. I have no intention of imprisoning you within the blade.
At least not until the moment it serves your plans to do so.
You are not the only one at risk. I may carry the instrument of your destruction, but I too have taken a chance in coming here. Or haven't you realized? You bear the only weapon that can kill me.
Then you know what I am, and who you are?
I believe I do.
And still you think you can move me about like your pawn? Think again, Kain.
Take heed, Raziel.
Why? If we are who we are, then are we not destined to fight to the death to decide the fate of Nosgoth?
Don't be a fool! I will not fight you!
And that will be the prophesied hero's battle? I win because you will not fight me? The mighty Kain, scion of balance, would-be savior of Nosgoth, surrenders before the final battle even begins!
Very well. If this will make you see reason...
Oh, you bitch. Right, that was the easy part of the fight.
Listen to me. The heart of darkness must remain undiscovered. Great harm will come of its use.
You don't know where it is, do you?
No.
You never looked for it.
It doesn't matter, Raziel. Listen to me. You must understand that every creature is bound to one predestined path. We are all shackled.
To the wheel of fate. Believe me, I know that even better than you do.
All but one. Because of your remaking, you are the one unbound creature. The one among us all that truly has free will. You have a choice, Raziel.
Which I'm sure I must make at your direction. Your pawn has reached the end of the board, Kain. And now my powers may even surpass yours. How ironic, if the creature that you made should prove your own undoing. Now, we finish this, once and for all.
Oh, you. Oh, you... Get off of me, you bitch. Why isn't my... come on. Yes, I know I'm in spirit. I'm quite like... There we go. Oh, God. Yeah, that's about how I'm breathing.
You... No. Raziel. They Victus. I didn't.
Woe to the conquered! I have found the heart of darkness, and you go to oblivion! Kain was gone. The madness of this place had somehow fueled my rage, and as it subsided, I felt no elation, no sense of victory. Only a calm certainty that we had once again walked blindly into our enemy's trap.
No,
I couldn't be sure whether Kain had truly intended
you
to
did
destroy
it.
me. And now it appeared I would never know.
Sea games are being manipulated, Raziel, and you still haven't learned.
In my absence, the estate had been overrun by Mobius's soldiers. I hoped that they had not yet found the entrance to the crypt or discovered the body of Janos. Of Vorador, there was no sign.
Raziel, the conquering hero. I understand we ought to offer congratulations. Kain, at last, is dead.
I suppose you expect similar congratulations on the death of Vorador. Or has he eluded you?
We have him, but not without a considerable price in blood.
That will have pleased him.
Let it sustain him until his head is off, and every vampire in Nosgoth at last is dead.
And will that knowledge sustain you? You too are going to your death.
For a true servant of the one God, death is never bitter. I will go, again at peace with the knowledge that I have played my small part in our master's plans. Kain is at last destroyed, and you have carried out the deed. Which hero do you think you are now? The vampire savior, or the other one? Have you realized yet that it didn't matter to us which one either of you thought you were, so long as the result was the same in the end? And now, Kain is dead. Really, I cannot thank you enough.
So, this has all been arranged every step of the way. And Kain thought I truly had free will.
Oh, but you do. And there's the greatest triumph of all. To have compelled the one player who could choose into doing exactly what we required. Well done, faithful servant. And now, I have an execution to see to.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, you can carry on sliding. Whatever.
This is our world. The
Okay, I missed spawn point. Where is that? Or maybe not. There'll be a spawn point around here somewhere. Ah, behind the barrel. Oh, so that's what that blade does. Right. Oh, no, that'll do. to the entrance. I seem to remember exiting between the thrones. Ah. Don't do it, Raziel. It's stupid.
This relic had come at so high a cost. My blood offering for the answers I sought from this enigmatic corpse. It was the price of my freedom, for which Kain had paid with his life. Had I journeyed so far and forsaken so much, only to have it end like this?
I remember. Raziel, the heir of prophecy. You came for the Reaver, just before the Seraphim found me.
You've been entombed here for 5 centuries. Your murderers are long dead.
500 years. And Vorador?
Also dead. Your bloodline is erased. The age of the vampires is coming to an end.
Then we must waste no time.
I'm not who you think I am, nor is this a benevolent act. I have questions that apparently you alone can answer.
Raziel, there are forces in this world that will strive to deceive you and pervert your destiny. But you must believe your arrival foretells the salvation of the vampire race.
Why then would the vampires devise a weapon to consume and imprison their savior?
No, that cannot be.
While the blade yet exists, I am drawn inexorably toward my doom. It was you who bound me to this fate. Only you can release me.
Raziel, you have been misled. You are ordained by prophecy to wield the Reaver.
And so I do, though not quite as you'd envisioned.
Redeemer and Destroyer. Is it possible? Did I misread all the signs? It seems your destiny is more labyrinthian than I had imagined. You must trust me, Raziel. We may have very little time. I will convey you to the place where your answers lie.
Where have you brought me?
We are within the ancient citadel of the vampire race, long ago defiled and abandoned. This fortress endured through centuries of war against our great enemy.
The Hilden.
Yes. From this chamber, we witnessed the summoning of the Pillars and the banishment of our adversaries from the land. This is a dire omen. The binding is in peril. The hour of prophecy is at hand.
It's too late. The Pillars are already damned.
As long as a single one of us stands, there is still hope. The Pillars must not remain under human guardianship. They are not competent to serve.
Why then did you allow the Pillars to fall into human hands?
Raziel, there is no time.
I want answers. The world can end this instant for all I care.
Very well. The Hilden cursed us as they fell, afflicting our race with a predatory bloodthirst. But with this transformation came our enemy's true revenge. Immortality.
They liberated you from the Wheel of Fate.
They imprisoned our souls in this flesh, expelling us from the purifying cycle of death and rebirth.
And yet you pass the curse on.
It was a necessary evil, Our immortality banished us from God's grace. He turned his sight from us and fell silent. Many took their own lives, unable to bear the separation from our God. Not you, though. Curse or blessing, it is the price we pay to keep the Hilden banished from the land. To sustain the binding, we had to preserve our bloodline, and so we passed the dark gift to the human successors of our fallen guardians. They rebelled, inevitably, refusing the curse and seizing the pillars as their own. And so we come to our present dilemma. While mankind governs the pillars, the binding decays. The Hilden strain against the barriers of their prison, scratching to gain a foothold back into this world.
And what does all this mean to me?
We stand at the threshold of a new eon, Raziel, and you are the fulcrum upon which our destiny turns. Beneath this room lies our innermost sanctum. The outer chamber has been opened. It appears events are already in motion. This token is the key to the mysteries you seek.
Ah, that's what that door was.
You must face this trial alone. If you prevail, you will have your answers.
And if I fail the test?
Then you will not return.
Stop it. Let's take that demon and do your pearls. bit of exposition, a quick phone call. Ah, that's the right button for the mic. Ah. Okay, resume.
I should have known.
Not
I'd
the
find
testicles
you
again.
Here and everywhere, now and always. I am the wheel and its turning. I am the circle of life
you were a
and
squid.
death.
And I am beginning to think the vampires committed suicide only to escape your voice.
Do not forego my favor with your impertinence, Raziel. You have finally fulfilled your purpose. I am pleased.
What are you trying to obliterate here, then? What is it about me that has you so afraid?
Your fate is trivial, Raziel. It was Kain's destiny that mattered all along.
Aha! Right, that did something, but I don't know what. Light and dark. Light and dark. Oh, right, try climbing up. There we go. Up, not sideways. Ah, right. Up yours. Ah, well, that's a bit trickier. So, Earth. Wrong one.
was endowed for the scion of balance, for Kain, and he was now dead. What hope remained? I needed to find Janos, and soon. I dreaded to think what these ominous rumblings might portend.
You're going to make me climb all the way up, aren't you? Oh my goodness me. Talk about unnecessarily dragging it out. Ah. Exit. Well, as long as there aren't any barriers, I don't care about you lot. Oh wow, how powerful is this blade? Keeps a corpse bayed in the centre of their council chamber. Oh, really?
Janos, what is this?
The binding is failing. All is lost.
We had arrived at that cataclysmic moment when a younger Kain faced his fateful dilemma as Balance Guardian. Choosing self-preservation over sacrifice, he doomed the pillars to eternal ruin.
Raziel, there may yet be hope. There is one who will be called. You must seek the Scion of Balance. Dear God!
Oh, it's the fight against this guy. Oh dear.
Ah, Raziel, we meet again. You have played your part flawlessly. It is gratifying to attain both freedom and vengeance in a single stroke. No! You cannot! This one is strong. Good. My next move requires a more durable host. Mortals are such fragile vessels. Willing or not, you have provided the instrument of our victory.
I wouldn't celebrate just yet.
You pathetic creature. You haven't got a clue. The seduction of the Circle and possession of Mortanius, Ariel's murder, the corruption and collapse of the Pillars, all orchestrated as a prelude to this moment. We sought an incorruptible vessel, and you provided one. We required the blood of our ancient enemy, and you delivered Janos Audron, having first been lured to the heart of darkness. Best of all, you murdered the Scion of Balance to get it. We've already won.
Raziel, you must not allow them to carry out their plan. Kill me, and you end it now.
Suicidal like the rest of them. Know your place, Raziel. The true hero plays his role and then steps aside. You deluded ghoul.
In the back, you idiot. You put it through his back. I mean...
The vampire's lost cause.
You're not leaving this chamber. I will destroy Janos if I have to.
Very well, then. I'll indulge you.
Oh, seriously, Kain would not have hesitated to put it through his back. Well, I'm not entirely sure how you meant to get through this one. Obviously not like that. Maybe try jumping over in these scoops. This isn't going to be fun. How to start tracking on that. That is ridiculous. Aha! Backwards. That might be a key. There we go, maybe not. so backwards and then sideways with those tornado things. Dodge that. Find a better way to get through that.
Raziel, finish it before he returns.
Seriously, Kain would have carved her up like a pumpkin.
You should have listened to me.
It is finished, and thus a new epic has its beginning.
Meanwhile,
do you see? However far you stray, you will always return to me. Surrender, Raziel.
Never!
Your efforts are wasted, Raziel. That weapon you bear, however endowed, remains only a wraith blade. It cannot touch me.
I will not be your prisoner.
You have no choice. Your task is fulfilled. Kain has been cleared from the board, and this chamber made ready for my more malleable servants. There is nothing more for you to do.
I refuse to bend my will.
It has always been my will you satisfy, never your own.
You parasitic fraud. You are forced to imprison me because I possess free will.
You possess nothing. As you are undying, your soul cannot be returned to the wheel. but it may console you to abide here in eternity with me. Mobius, my good servant, I call you to the place of our first meeting. Return to me here.
I awoke to find myself in a shadowy realm. A disquieting stillness lay where my heart had been, the heart that had belonged to Janus Audrun all along. How was it possible that I still lived?
You are still very full, vampire. That will go first. This realm will render you hideous. You will go mad. You will not know it.
What is this place?
Do you not think of this place every day, vampire? Or are we truly forgotten? This is the exile into which we were driven. But soon now, soon we will be free. We will be free.
Big guy, let's get you out into the centre of the room.
Strongly drawn, compelled even, not to linger here, but to go to the vampire citadel.
annoying. I like that.
I knew what ominous hour this was in Nosgoth's history, for here was the event that had shaped my entire existence. I had cast my fate, refusing the sacrifice, damning the pillars, and founding my doomed empire upon their ruins. I would raise the Salafan priests to be my closest lieutenants, and would one day cast the strongest of them, my servant Raziel, into the abyss, dealing one last hand to play against fate. But in the end, had it made any difference? Had I misread the signs, as Mobius told me? In my arrogance, had I missed my cast at destiny?
Yes, please give me my power up at a point in the game where I pretty much don't need it. Quick, jump in the water.
The Hilden are merely an inconvenient consequence. They will be dealt with in time. It is a small price to pay for Kain's death.
You're a bit premature.
Kain!
Is there a crack in your omniscience after all, Mobius? First, your omniscience, and now your powers. You're slipping badly.
This is not possible.
The part of me that staff affected is no longer in its place. But you already knew that, didn't you? I always was considered heartless. And now, Mobius, it is time.
To kill me? Again? Your only solution for every problem. Kill.
This is not a debate.
Yeah, it
See, this
tends to
time,
work.
You have
At least for
nothing that
Kain.
I want.
You think this will matter? I serve one who has power over life and death.
Then go to him.
I am his obedient, his devoted servant. Soon, all pain will fade, and my master will bring me life once more. Master, my apologies. A momentary oversight. Somehow Kain still lives and has unexpectedly dispatched me. Make use of your good servant and... Go to your master, then. I release you to the wheel. God! Do you see it now? The monster that you served. Is this what you imagined when you worshipped it? No! And in that knowledge, go and feed it. I release you.
That's been a long time coming.
Your petty actions are irrelevant, Raziel. Mobius was a good servant, but he was of no further use. His long life had run its course. You see, even when you rebel, you are doing my will.
Perhaps. But something has changed, hasn't it? You didn't foresee Kain's return.
You have both traced your paths along the wheel. This is where the journey ends.
You haven't the means to kill either one of us.
Ah, but you can be stopped. And you will come to understand how oblivion can be a mercy. You and Kain will spend eternity buried here together, praying for the merciful release of a death that will never come.
But I was armed with newfound knowledge, and it burned within me.
Redeemer and Destroyer.
Mobius had never seen his master until the Soul Reaver purified his sight. Even the ancient vampires had no idea what it was they so righteously worshipped.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
All the conflict and strife throughout history, all the fear and hatred, served but one purpose: to keep my master's wheel turning. All souls were prisoners, trapped in the pointless round of existence, leading distracted, blunted lives until death returned them, always in ignorance, to the wheel.
The coin is still turning.
But what hope had there been? One cannot fight the unseen.
Only then will the Scion of Balance be armed for his true endeavor.
Despair, Raziel. There is no escape.
It was then I knew what I had to do. I alone could end this.
Kain, do you so enjoy death?
Yes. Raziel. No! Yes. This is how...
No! Raziel!
The Soul Reaver, pure of all corruption. This is what it is for. This is what I am for. The two become one. Both Soul Reavers together. And the Scion of Balance is healed. And I am not your enemy, not your destroyer. I am, as before, your right hand, your sword.
No, Raziel. This can't be the way.
And now you will see the true enemy.
Raziel. And it was then I saw.
So, I am revealed to you at last.
What in hell?
I am the origin of life, the devourer of death. I am the hub of the wheel, the purifying cycle to which all souls must be drawn.
Had I condemned Raziel to this nightmare when I cast him into the abyss?
You may ponder the futility of your ambitions as you spend a deathless eternity beneath a mountain of rubble. You and your Soul Reaver will go equally mad as the eons pass. The Citadel of the Apostles will become your living tomb.
Your words are hardening. For you would not fear us unless we could truly do you harm.
No! You are nothing!
False god. This is the end. The final turn of your wheel.
Oh, for that. I don't know how to touch it.
Submit to my will.
I submit to it or something. Ah. That's roughly that, actually.
You will never defeat me, Kain.
Oh, not the whole talking bit again. Oh, thank goodness for that. Soul Reaver 2, you couldn't skip the talking bits.
You will never defeat me, Kain. Submit to my will.
So there's blue and green ones. I don't know what to do about those blue ones there. Green ones, looks like you can just jump, but blue ones, I don't know.
Feed the wheel.
Aha.
This is futile. Surrender, Kain. You cannot defeat me.
There. Oh, losing the timing. 3 of them.
Surrender, Kain. This is futile.
Hit him, Kain.
I will crush you, vampire. Your sacrifice has been made in vain, Brethren. This defiance is poisonous. I will bury you. Surrender, Kain. Pathetic creature.
Oh, that was close. I think I teleport, Kain. Why didn't you do it before now?
The engine of life itself. The wheel will turn. The plague of your kind will be purged from this world. And on that inevitable day, your wretched, stagnant soul will finally be mine.
In the meantime, you'd best burrow deep. Now at last, the masks had fallen away. The strings of the puppets had become visible, and the hands of the Prime Mover exposed. Most ironic of all was the last gift that Raziel had given me. More powerful than the sword that now held his soul, more acute even than the vision his sacrifice had accorded me. The first bitter taste of that terrible illusion. Hope.
And there we go. That is all of the Legacy of Kain games completed. And at 10:30 on a Friday, not bad. I think I'll have a game of Armello to finish up with.